Torp here. I got called out for riding coattails. You know that little saying on YouTube where people talk about you're talking about somebody else, so you're riding their coattails. We're going to get into that here. I noticed that nobody ever said I was riding Flex's coattails. This guy that runs this thing called The Lounge. I never got called out for that. Why is that? Why is it I got called out for riding Pedro's coattails? Because I mentioned him so much last night. But yet, I also noticed I never get called out for riding somebody's coattails when I say something good about them. Huh. That's a fucking conundrum, isn't it? I never did understand that one. But what I do know is this. When people say that you're riding somebody else's coattails, it normally means that they just get a little offended because that's their buddy. And that you hit a nerve. And that nerve needs to be hit. When you're full of shit. I could cover every single channel that you guys know about. And I could do it with such ease that it would blow your mind. I get a lot of those explosion comments where they put a fire pit or a mind blown. But I ask you guys, ask your friends this. When somebody says you're riding somebody's coattails, what does that mean to you when you see that comment? Somebody's trying to get views off of somebody else's content? Yeah, sure. I agree with that. I do. I agree with that. Bring up somebody's name, everybody knows them, or they don't, or they want to know who they are, or they don't. But they're still curious about who it is. Like, why do you keep up bringing this guy? He's got more views than you does. That's twisted and fucked up, but you know what I meant. So you go back to square one. If I'm going to watch somebody's video and they talk about somebody else, do I believe they're doing that because they want the attention of that person or the views that that person is getting? Yep, that's 2 yeses. Here's why. Other people's videos, especially when you can't stand what they're saying, you don't agree with what they're saying, or you just think they're lying and you wish somebody would call them out for lying. It's like, that is not at all how it works. That's what I'm doing. I'm calling out what I see good and bad. But would you guys understand any of my shit, my nonsense, my fucking discombobulation if I didn't mention the channel sometimes over and over again? Would you understand? Think about that. Even if you thought this, let's put it in perspective. Even if you said, oh, I know who he's talking about. I know who he's talking about. He didn't say because he's too much of a pussy. Really? Why in the fuck, if I'm going to bring up a subject, why not bring up the channel that the subject applies to? And no, riding coattails is an urban myth at best. It doesn't exist. When you point somebody out, even some of these channels that do it with stills for their video, the bait. I gotta be careful here now from here out because some of the clickbait I do like, and some of these channels I dearly respect. But when you see that fuck, I did it again. That's 2. When you see the banner, and it's got somebody else's picture in it with a clever title, what do you think? What does that mean to you? When you see, I'll tell you what it means to you if you don't know. Because I don't think some of you get this. What it means is that you are being led into the picture of somebody else on that person's channel. And you know there's a goddamn good chance that you might see something that you agree with or you're totally pissed off at. Either way, that's not a coattail. That's a direction. When you direct people to a video idea or somebody else's video that has a bad idea, and you're trying to explain to you, well, you first, right? Because either you believe it or you don't, and when you don't believe it, it shows, and if you do believe it, everybody knows you believe it. Even if they disagree with you, you're like, you know what? He's just being honest. He's just being real. He's not trying to, like, say, I can't wait to get millions of views because I fooled you. That's me. I'm not going to get paid on YouTube. I know you guys think I harp on that. Some of you do, some of you believe in it, some of you don't. Fine. I'm not even mad about that. I'm saying that since I'm not going to get paid on YouTube, it really doesn't matter whose coattails I ride. If I was to ride a coattail, it would be a coattail of somebody that I respect. Because those guys got the loyal associates. I don't call them viewers anymore. They're associates. Those are the people that either agree with you or slightly argue with you, but have a decent argument, a mature argument. They talk, they let you talk, goes back and forth. Yeah, if I'm going to ride a coattail of another YouTuber, it's going to be a positive one. Yeah, I'd like to have some of their feedback on my channel. You damn right I would. I see something in another channel that makes sense, it works, and it's real, then yes, I will ride that coattail. But you can only ride the coattail of a positive channel if that positive, realistic, keeping in the real channel likes you. That's the difference. When you ride a coattail of somebody like a Pedro or a Flex, what happens? You get called out by their dronies for being, you're riding his coattails. I'm like, dude, you may not have noticed this, and I'm here to help you. I'm your crutch of reality. If you're gonna ride somebody's coattails, you don't want it to be an asshole. You want it to be a positive person. I think that's where you all miss the small yellow school bus. See, for example, I stopped talking about nugs. It's in my playlist. I have a video about nugs. It's over a year old. And I didn't do that to ride his coattails. I think Nugs is a douchebag. I do. I liked him for the first 2 months, and then all he could talk about was Tony. So I guess he's riding Tony's coattails to get views about DoorDash on YouTube. So when you look at your favorites and you judge me for being a coattail rider, let me ask you this. What are your favorite YouTubers doing that's different than from what I'm doing? Are they not riding coattails? Do they not fucking suck some dick? Do they not fucking do this in a way that you know in the back of your mind they're like, the only reason you brought them up is because you want their attention and you want their viewers to see you. So when you go to coattail definitions, I think if you're going to ride a coattail, you might want to find a good channel and get the views that are going to count, the attention that's going to count, maybe some people that can think for themselves. Gonna count. Not the ones that are cronies, not the ones that are playing games and they just want to fucking shoot the shit in a comment and, you know, charge up their fucking batteries in their keyboard, put it sideways like fucking Eddie Van Halen, you know, just fucking keyboard warrior that shit. I don't want those. What at the end of the day and at the end of your week, most importantly, your mentality. Are you going to do with that later? Or were you just like video masturbating? You just wanted to get off real quick. We see you. We see you. We do. Look, it's not so much that you hate us when you do that. It's so much that we know you're not going to be loyal to this guy that's lying to you and only likes you because you agree with him. We already know that. We understand your plight. You don't know where you belong. Man, I tell you right now, as far as I'm concerned, you belong with you. You don't suck. You just think you suck because the one you're following lies to you and makes you think you suck if you don't agree with them. I've been watching DoorDash Sucks channel, and honestly, there must be at least, let's just go 3/4 of the video I agree with. Every video he makes, at least 3/4 of it. 1/4 of it, I'm like, And I think to myself, do you really think DoorDash Sucks likes 100% of my content? If he does, he's full of shit. He even told me, I don't agree with everything Torp says. I got some respect for the man there. A lot of the men in my life that I respected, looked up to, they sure the fuck told me when they disagree with me. I know that's real respect. When somebody tells you they don't agree with you, that's real respect. It's how you handle that. So, before you get your panties in a bunch again, I am not riding coattails of a Flex or a Pedro or Mike the driver or there's so fucking many of them that do this. What I'm doing is telling you guys how I feel about them. And you're not going to know who them are unless I say their channel name or potentially tag them in my description. But what I think you guys should be paying more attention to is who I do ride coattails. Positive, good, critical thinkers that think for themselves. Those are the ones I ride the coattails of. If they think for themselves, they give me some respect. And you see me giving them respect without any of that. Then you know it's true. So now, I mean, honestly, why would I ride the coattails of Pedro and Flex when I know every single view I get from those channels, every single like, every single subscriber is either going to leave, be hateful, lie to me, or play games? When I could better myself off with riding the coattails of DoorDash Sucks, DoorDash Revolution, Hot Facts Robert Reese, Dash Dad, North Florida Dasher. There are many. Many. I know this. When people tell me what I think and what I'm doing, that's when I know it's time to go into Torp mode. Torp mode is something you don't want no part of unless you're on my good side. Because if you're on my bad side, I'm going to point that out. You don't want that. But if you're on my good side, you do want that. I will prove myself over and over and over again until the fucking cows come home. And right now we got a pasture of cows in the lounge and Pedro's audience. A few of us here are trying to point that out. It's just a bunch of moos, a bunch of flatulence, and a bunch of flies. I don't like it, so I say their name so you know who I'm talking about. I give two shits and two fucking kicks in your ass for thinking it's goddamn coat riding when in fact I don't ride coattails. Hell, if anything at all, I cut them off. Wrap them around the fucking creator's neck and let them hang themselves. Torp out.